Hi guys, and welcome back to Couch Critics. I'm Ruby.
And I'm Lamia, and today we're gonna review Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Anyways, everyone knows what it's about. It's a
Yeah.
Tom Cruise movie,
Yeah.
and it's about Tom Cruise doing crazy stunts.
Exactly. Yes, that first of all, but also him fighting supervillains.
Yeah, and
And-
saving the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Always the Americans saving the world. But yeah, this one he was fighting AI, or did I misunderstand?
Yeah, he was fighting AI.
Like
Yeah,
someone trying to
literally.
control AI or
Some
something like this.
entity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some entity.
And so he literally had to jump on planes and like dive into the deepest, waters and, defy death in every scene to
Yeah.
save us.
Because I mean, it's not Mission Impossible without those scenes.
I feel like we're describing a parody of something of an action movie because it's so unrealistic, and at the same time I feel like there's a shift in culture right now because
Yeah.
back when these movies, all the Mission Impossible, the first ones came out, everyone used to be super fan of
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, and it was so more believable.
Yeah.
But right now it's like you watch it and you're like,
Yeah.
what is that?
No, I totally agree. And you saying that makes me think of that one scene that just didn't make sense for me. There's a scene where he's going underwater
Yeah.
to get something from a boat, and he's like millions. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but he's very deep into the water.
Yeah.
And then he ends up needing to take out his oxygen tank at some point while he's going up.
Oh yeah.
But then he
yeah.
still
he
makes it out
makes
alive.
it to the top.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm drowning in a pool, I'm not gonna make it out alive.
No,
I'm
but
not
he
like,
actually dies and come back. Like his girlfriend, they helped him come back to
yeah,
life.
but like, how did he? How? Like, it takes forever.
It's Tom
I mean,
Cruise.
it's so what?
It's Tom Cruise.
Obviously. Yeah, but yeah. Fun fact, which I probably shouldn't be telling, but I'm gonna say regardless. Don't cancel me. But I had just come from a trip and I was jet lagged, so during that part I was falling asleep. So I would just like sleep and then I'd wake up and he was underwater, and then I would sleep and wake up and then he was still diving underwater, and then all of a sudden he comes up in like 5 seconds, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought it was taller. Like, so yeah.
No, the exaggeration in this movie is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we described it, it's literally Tom Cruise trying to save the world. He's trying to find this um, key. No, he already had the key. He
Yeah.
had to find this electronic device, and that electronic device was in this boat in somewhere inside the ocean.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he had to find a way to get there and save the world, because if he didn't do that, the entity would destroy the entire world and everyone would die.
And nobody could go there and get it
Yeah.
except for him.
Except Tom Cruise, yeah.
Except for him. I don't know what genetics he has, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so too early 2000 coded.
Yes.
It's just not even I'm not even referring to the exaggeration, but just this whole idea of having someone with special power. It's
Yeah.
not even a Marvel movie, but it's a normal guy with special powers who can defy that. And also the ridiculous amount of the lack of representation. You have all the leads who are not people of color. You had one black guy, but he wasn't a primary
And
character.
the president, of course,
Yeah.
was a woman of color.
Yeah.
Because we have to.
And yeah, the love story also is very cringe. And
Yeah.
I just feel like movies aren't being filmed this way anymore. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I totally
I don't know
agree
if
with you.
they should innovate when it comes to the Mission Impossible movies. And to me, the only way to innovate, if you want to make these series of movies better, is to kill the main character.
I've heard stories about the next Mission Impossible being with a different character. So I don't know if that's gonna be the case or not.
Yeah, but in that case, he should have died, because
Yeah.
in the ocean,
Probably,
and
yes.
I don't know, maybe the girlfriend should have saved the world, or maybe the president should have clicked on the bottom that would send nuclear weapons somewhere, kind of everywhere, and then in the next Mission Impossible they should have had a different lead
Yeah.
who would save the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do as James Bond anyway. Like they
Yeah.
always change the characters. It's always James Bond, but like I don't know, I feel like there's ways to innovate, as you said. I
Yeah.
love that point. Also, like right now, I feel like movies are more about character development than
Mhm.
just about the action and the protagonist and the enemy and all of that. So I'd be curious to see how can that happen in an action
Yeah.
movie. I feel like that would be interesting if someone experiments in this
Yeah.
area. But yeah, um,
But
Mission
it's
Impossible.
still like the problem here is that it's impossible to relate to a character like Tom Cruise. And you know,
Yeah,
like when you watch, for example, a Marvel movie, you already know that like you're not going to relate to these characters. So when you find this humanity in them, you like the movie even more because you're
yeah,
like, even though it's kind of dystopian, I can still relate to
relate.
this character.
Yeah,
Whereas here, it's a human being like you and I, and he's just like doing things that like any human can't do.
that's true.
And yeah, it's just not, I feel like people are
Oh,
over this, and this is why I think we have more stories about antagonists right now that are doing well. It's because people are sick of like good people being extraordinary and like bad people being extraordinary bad.
yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's unrealistic to let somebody think that someone is just the absolute good. I mean,
Yeah.
people have flaws, and I think that would make it more beautiful to experiment in those areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you know that Tom Cruise was also the producer, so I don't think that anyone
Oh,
had
it's a.
a say. But yeah, it's understandable. Imagine being a Hollywood star and you just want to make a movie about you being a star.
Yes,
And yeah,
that makes sense. But I can't like I saw him getting old in that movie and like you
yeah,
know it seemed different. Like I understand how back in the days he was a hero. And
mm,
I'm sorry for saying that, but people say this about women all the time. I feel like even superheroes
yeah,
like I don't know. Maybe it's a controversial opinion, but I feel like Tom Cruise his character should retire. Like he saved the
yeah.
world one too many times. Let him rest.
Exactly. I think his one last great movie where he was the hero and like where he had extraordinary powers was Top Gun, the last one. He
Yeah.
should have stopped there and like yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of like superheroes, I don't know if that's gonna be the case or not, but I know that John Wick, there's a
Mhm.
new movie coming out and it's gonna be with Ana de Armas.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Keanu Reeves is gonna have a huge role in that movie. And I don't know. That's what I understood from the trailer because I
Yeah.
barely saw him. But I feel like that is an example of what a good transition should be. Like they transition to a different superhero
Mm,
who's a woman, who's younger. It's like it's a fresh, I don't know, I don't know.
totally.
It was a fresh
Yeah, we don't have that
continuity.
many, series with superhumans who happen to be women.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
besides the Marvel, we need maybe a balance,
Yeah,
a new Mission Impossible with a female lead.
yeah. And even with Marvel, like when they decided to kill off Iron Man,
Mm,
they tried to transition that with Spider-Man. Like Tom
yeah,
Holland was like the protege of Tony Stark, like of Robert Downey, and I feel like that was a smart move because you wanna leave room for the younger generation to be
totally.
part of those movies. So
Mm,
I think that was a smart. These were good examples of how transitions could go for franchises like this.
yeah.
But I do have to say, I love the cinematography and I love the music. The
Mm,
Mission Impossible music, it's always breathtaking in my opinion. It's always so grandiose, it's so
mm.
big. So that's something that I think they did very well.
Yeah, the cinematography was fun, and also, some although it's exaggerated, some scenes were interesting to watch, but
Yes.
they would go on forever. Like where the scene where he was diving in was very long. I know he's left
Yeah.
hand, but like I watched the whole thing and it's so long. Like whenever you were like, this is the last thing that he had to do in that boat, and I didn't even understand what he was doing inside. It was just like Tom Cruise trying to show off that he could do things and like
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe they should have edited the movie better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's.
Yeah, Tom Cruise shouldn't have been involved in like the making of the movie. He should have maybe just acted and let someone decide on
Yeah,
what.
I find it terrifying to
Mm,
take more than one role. Like, I think it's
yeah,
okay for him to be a producer, but if you want to be a producer, maybe don't be an actor because, first of all, it's so much responsibility on your shoulder. Like, if a movie flop, it's
yeah,
probably gonna be like so much responsibility is gonna fall on you. And second of all, I mean, you want to give your 100% doing one thing. So, yeah, I don't know.
totally. Mission Impossible.
Yes, mission accomplished, reviewing Mission
Yes.
Impossible. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you guys watch the movie, let us know what you think. And
And please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
see you next week. Bye.